Then when I started getting good results as an amateur, I realized that I can switch to pro and achieve success.
Sambo.
In combat sambo.
Combat Sambo.
I competed in all kinds of sports. Everything that involves wrestling and fighting. I competed everywhere. I competed in freestyle, in judo, in grappling, in combat sambo. I competed in sports sambo, in hand-to-hand combat, in pankration. My father put me in all competitions. He would say, "You have a competition here and another one there. Now you are preparing for this one. You will compete in this weight, under these rules, in this sport." And he was sending me everywhere. He would tell me, "You will need this in the future. The more competition experience you have, the more relaxed and confident you'll feel. It builds up over time." When I was young, I was losing as well. I go to a judo competition, win 2 matches and lose 2 matches. I would ask, "Father, why are you sending me there? This is not my sport." And he'd say, "No, go and compete." So, okay, I went, I cut weight. The next day you come in, you see 50 competitors in your weight class. You let this weight, this competitive energy pass through you, and psychologically you get better each time. You become more relaxed about it. And this moment really affected me. Although then I didn't agree with my father. Back then I thought, why should I compete in other sports? He said, "You can wrestle, right? Well, go wrestle." I was saying, "But judo isn't my sport. It's hard for me there." He says, "Well, you went on 4 times. Look, you won twice, then lost twice. You competed 4 times. You're 15 years old. You're just developing. Do you know how valuable this experience is for you? 4 matches in 1 day." Now, when I'm coaching, I understand the psychological approach, how important it is. I realize now how correctly he prepared me for the big stage. The preparation was already happening then, when I was 15 years old. For example, when I went into the biggest fight in combat sports history, when I fought in 2018 here in Las Vegas. At that point, I was already at my peak, prime time. I was 30 years old. I went through all possible competitions as an amateur and a professional. And you know what? I was ready. This preparation, it started back then when I was 15. It's not like they give you a fight and you prepare for 2 months. Preparation starts long before you even step into the octagon.
So this experience of competitions, which started at 15, it continued, it expanded.
Yeah, of course.
So can you explain what was going on in your head?
I didn't want to lose. I just didn't. It never occurred to me that I could get hurt, that someone could hurt me, that I might break a finger somewhere. I never had that in my head, that I could get hit, that I'd get a scratch, and so on. I don't know if you can call it perfectionism. I didn't want to lose. And to not lose, I knew I needed to compete a lot and improve. Training is one thing, but competing is different. I understood that the more I competed, the more experience I would gain. I had to go through it. It was constantly on my mind. This understanding that I must compete a lot came to me at an early age, since I was 15, 16, 17, 18, and I never stopped thinking about it. So it was always in the back of my mind.
Were you confident that you would win?
In my youth, no.
Were you afraid to lose?
Yeah, in my youth, I wasn't always so sure. I just wasn't. Because I never stood out. Yes, I had a coach for a father, and how many trainers have kids who compete but aren't successful. And then when I went to the big leagues, I had already fought. I had done 16 professional fights across the post-Soviet space. Later, when I was already signed to the UFC, there I already had this feeling. With each fight, I was getting mentally stronger. My mind was becoming more and more solid, like concrete. When I went out there, I knew, yes, these are fights. Yes, You can take a hit. Yes, anything can happen when knees, elbows, fists are flying. When you can get caught in a choke, you know? But I thought if they don't knock me out, how will they beat me? I have 15 minutes. 15 minutes is enough to make a person tired. I'm like, okay, if you wanna stop me, come here. I'll give you that chance. Let's get in the octagon. I had this impatience during fight week. I wanted to go in there and feel my opponent. I just wanted to be inside the cage, for them to close us in, for the referee to say, ready, ready, fight. And here I wanted to feel, to grapple with him and feel his strength, his skills, his energy, and for it not to stop. And with any opponent I felt from the beginning, and I didn't actually have superhuman strength, but from the beginning, when I grabbed them in the first minute, and then in the 6th or 7th minute, I could feel them fading. I was, let's say, like squeezing this energy out of them. And I was getting better and better, minute by minute,